What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, this time for my review of Honey Don't, the new film that comes to us from director Ethan Coen. Now, I'm going to give you guys the straight scoop on this one and not waste any time. First of all, because this film has been out for a couple of days now, and second, because, well, it's an 89-minute flick that I'm not going to remember tomorrow, probably. I was not a fan of Ethan Coen's first solo effort as a director, and that was last year's Drive Away Dolls. And I can pretty much guarantee you that if you didn't like Drive Away Dolls, you're not going to like this either. So Honey Don't is a screwball crime noir story set in Northern California that follows Honey O'Donoghue, a private investigator who begins to uncover some shady happenings in her town that connect to several of her clients' cases as well as her own family. Honey is a lesbian, and I point that out not because there's anything wrong with it, but because the film constantly reminds you of her sexuality. It cannot go one scene without having some sort of line of dialogue that emphasizes it. And this is a problem that I had with Drive Away Dolls as well. In that movie, Margaret Qualley's entire character's identity was her sexuality, and there's like nothing else to explore whatsoever. It's like the sole selling point for that film was lesbians. It was the type of viewing experience that had me sitting back going, okay, sure, fine, cool. Do you have anything else to give me? I will say this one has less dildo jokes, which is certainly a plus. They're still there, though, unfortunately. They haven't fully disappeared. I don't know what is with Ethan Coen's obsession with putting them in his films. And Honey Don't is still very heavy on the sex scenes, and I'm probably going to offend some people for absolutely no reason by saying this, but it got to the point that it felt like overkill to me. Gratuitous is the word that comes to mind. Like, you can have 2 or 3 sex scenes in your movie if it enhances the intimacy that you feel between 2 characters, but there are like 6 of them in this movie. And a lot of it is just flat out stupid. For instance, there is a scene in this movie in which Aubrey Plaza and Margaret Qualley are sitting at a bar, like on stools, at the bar, stimulating each other, and somehow none of the other patrons or the bartender are noticing. It's one thing if you want to make your film a crass screwball comedy, but that just didn't work for me. I was like, what are we doing here? What is this movie about? The biggest saving grace here is definitely Margaret Qualley, who does what she can with the material. There's a couple of jokes that land pretty well, specifically when she's joking about her drinking problem. And I like the idea of the story following an old school private investigator solving a murder mystery. I mean, it's a story as old as time itself, but it's one that remains present today because it's so effective over the years. But for a movie about a private investigator, there is very little actual investigating, and the movie doesn't give you enough clues, enough breadcrumbs to try to solve the mystery for yourself, so it almost sucks the fun out of the premise altogether. There is one funny bit that runs throughout the film with Charlie Day's character, who is hopelessly interested in Honey despite her constantly reminding him that she's not into men. But other than Qualley's performance and some pretty cinematography, I have to say everything else about this feels washed. It seems like the Coen brothers just can't write a good screenplay without one another to save their lives. There are so damn many plot threads, some of which are intriguing but never go anywhere. For instance, we have Chris Evans in here as this hypocrite evangelist pastor who uses his position in his church to fornicate with as many of his female followers as he can while he's also engaging in drug trafficking, among other things. But that whole subplot feels like such a random potshot at Christianity. I'm not sure what the point of it was. This movie, to me, it wasn't saying anything. Despite having 500 different characters and things happening, none of it comes together to make any damn sense. Aubrey Plaza is wasted in a role that I thought was pretty forgettable, and the god-awful ending was simply the nail in the coffin for me. I'm gonna give Honey Don't 1.5 stars. If you liked Drive Away Dolls, maybe you'll like this too. I thought it was dreadful. So those are my thoughts on the film. If you have seen it, be sure to drop down into the comments and let me know what you think of this nonsense, and tell me while you're at it what your favorite Coen brother movie is. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe before you take off. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later.